Hey guys, welcome back to Trading with Geo. I'm back again with another daily recap. Today we'll be going over Wednesday, the 31st trading session. We'll be going over crude oil and the S&P. Pretty eventful day, especially for the S&P. We'll get to that move in a bit, but we also saw some crude oil inventory numbers as well. If you can recall yesterday, I said that this was our long-term target right here, this blue box, this 60, 30-ish level. But I did say that we could see a push, or at least a drop to this consolidation zone before we start moving higher. So we'll get to that in a bit. We'll drop down, but let's take a look at the S&P first. Okay, so yeah, big move down that we'll look at once we get down into the lower time frames. But as I was saying before, I didn't really want to touch this market too much, especially on days like today as well. As a rule of thumb, I never trade on days where an interest rate decision is coming out. So I did not take any positions today, but we'll still go over it. Definitely interesting price action. But as you can see here, we broke down below the 21 EMA. And this can mean a couple things. Either we can show rejection, which we're rallying a little bit overnight. It's about 11 p.m. here, or we can see a drop down to this 50 EMA here. So this is kind of my line in the sand at the moment. I don't want to see it drop below and hold below this 2966 area. So we'll keep an eye on that. But first, let's look at crude oil. So we'll drop down to the 5-minute here. All right, so this is today's trading session, Wednesday. This is the overnight, and this is Tuesdays. And if you can recall what I always say when we gap up, which we did here, I like to look at the overnight volume profile. So this is Tuesday's trading session. We closed right around the 57.96 area, and we opened right above here, so 58.55. So if you can remember, I don't like to take trades before the 10:30 a.m. numbers come out, so we'll just walk through what happened at first. So where did we open relative to the overnight volume profile? We opened above the POC, right at this volume area high. So what did we do? We pushed up, saw a little bit of hesitation here, and we also saw some divergence on the RSI. And what did we do? We stuttered a little bit, closed down below the volume area high, and what do I always say? Once we see a strong rejection into one of the volume area highs or lows, there's very good chances that it's going to touch that other extreme. And what did we do here? We closed above the high and we touched that low. So, this is something that happens constantly in the markets. So these things will start showing up more and more, and it'll be oh, sorry about this police car. Hope you guys can't hear that. So where was I? Okay, so this is all prior to the 10:30 a.m. news numbers. So let's go forward a little bit. As the numbers come out, right here at 10:30, we see a big push up, break back above this volume area high. Now, what did we see immediately after that? We broke down below. And one thing that I've noticed lately, over the past month, a fade of the news numbers that come out for crude is a very good play. Let's even look back at last Wednesday, right here. News numbers came out at 10:30, saw a push up, and then immediate push down. Almost exactly what we saw again today. So today we saw, I believe it was good news for crude. So we saw this push up. Then what did we see? We saw an immediate push down. And this is the first trade that I took today, and the only trade that I took today. So I'll walk you through my thought process through that. As I just said, fading the news has been a good trade for crude. So what did we see? We saw a push up, and we also saw some pretty good divergence, especially with this RSI as well. The push up is also good because it took out these stops right here. For people that got short at the open, took them out. If you got short at the open, most of the time your stops are most likely up here. Now, once we saw a breakdown below above this value area high, that's my signal to get in. And what did I just say? Once we break the high, there's a very good chance that we're going to touch that low. So my entry was right here, right after the 5-minute candle closed below the volume area high. I took a 10 tick stop. It made about 21. So that's my 2-to-1 risk reward ratio, which came right pretty much exactly at the volume area low. Very easy trade. Didn't go against us at all. It immediately pushed down. This is something that happens over and over and over again in these markets. And if you remember what I said yesterday, I don't like taking trades before 10:30, but an hour or so, or even a little bit after they come out, great trade opportunities happen. Now, unfortunately, right after that, we didn't see much expansion below. Once we broke this volume area low, we kind of just broke back up and then just started in between this range, as you can see here. Price accepted at these levels, which is why this is the value area. And so we kind of just kept in range here. Not exactly what I would like to see. I would have liked to have a break below this and then a hold and then maybe even a push down into yesterday. This is Tuesday's trading session, volume area high. As you can see, we closed here at this vertical line, and now overnight, we actually did push down and touch this volume area high, okay? And also this level right here, which is 57.46. So at this moment, this is sort of my line in the sand. I do not want to see a breakdown below and hold. If we do, either we could get some chop or maybe even touch Monday's volume area high, which is this level right here. Let me extend this out for you. Okay, so if we see a breakdown below this and a hold, this is going to be my target. Ideally, I would like to see us, which we did bounce right now in the overnight session. Hopefully we don't go back and test these levels. We may see a small little push down before we get long, but at the moment I still am bullish on this pair. Let's go back to that daily chart that I showed earlier. Again, this is our target right here, the 60-30 level. So what I would like to see is make sure we don't break down below this line. If we do, we may consolidate for a bit, or we might see a push down to this volume area high. So hopefully we can hold this overnight going into tomorrow morning, and we'll take it from there. But yeah, so this was the only trade that I took today, the short on crude oil. A very good trade, stress-free trade. It didn't go against us at all. Very easy. This is what I've been, it followed my rules, what I've been telling you guys every single day now. Once we break back into this range, we're gonna test the other extreme. And a bunch of other things fell into place as well. Again, we saw the RSI divergence here, fading the news numbers that we've been seeing for the past month or so. So everything fell into place. It was a good trade. Unfortunately, we didn't see a big move down, but that's okay. We took our profits, we made our money, and that's all that matters. All right, so that was crude oil. Now we'll talk about S&P a little bit. So again, I didn't take a trade today on S&P. Haven't really been trading this market much recently. Just haven't been liking price action. And just as a rule of mine, I never trade on days where interest rate decisions come out. But we'll still look over it because it was definitely, as you can see here, a huge move. So definitely worth talking about. Okay, so let's talk about where we opened. So we opened here, which is above the volume area high of yesterday. This is yesterday's trading session, yesterday's volume profile. We hesitated here at the volume area high of the previous day, and then we slowly broke down into it. What did I say in crude oil? You guessed it. We're going to touch that other extreme once we break this volume area. And that's exactly what we did. We went down and touched it. Now, what did we see here? We saw a pretty good rejection candle right here, a slight little consolidation, and we broke back up. If this wasn't an interest rate day, could have been a good trade to go long, good risk reward to go long on a break of this. Along right after this candle, this 5-minute candle, and then go long here with a stop under there. But like I said, interest rate day, I would prefer to sit on my hands. So as we continue, I hate when we see these big moves because it just fucks up my charts, but we'll try to make the most of it. Here, let's see if I can fix it. Okay, so we saw a break back above, and then a hesitation again. So we pushed up, didn't really have any momentum to want to go higher. Broke back down, touched the value area high again, tested it, up again, consolidation, broke down below. This is when, the big moves started happening. Saw a big push down, and then as you can see, it was all gone from there. I'm not much of a fundamentals person. I don't really follow the news too much, but interest rate day is definitely our market movers. Although it did seem that today the interest rate decision wasn't as big of a player as Powell's speech was after it. The market already anticipated the rate cut decision coming, so you generally see that priced into the market already. The speech that Powell gave after seemed to be what moved the market the most. As you can see, big push down. So where does this leave me with the S&P? Well, I still don't want to touch it. Let's see if we could get a 1 hour chart of it. I still don't want to touch this pair. My line in the sand right now on the daily chart is just this level right here. You can see a good support and resistance flip zone. If we see a breakdown below it, probably going to, let's go back to the moving average chart actually. This line right here, if we break and hold below this intraday, could be testing that 50-day moving average. That's still a ways away though. That's a pretty decent move down. Who knows? Could chop around for a bit. This just isn't a market you want to be trading right now. At least I don't want to be. So we'll focus more of our attention on crude oil. But definitely a big mover today. Maybe see some momentum down after this. Maybe the bears want to step in. They think they've got the strength in the market now, but we'll see. For now, we'll stick to crude. So let's go back to this. As I was saying again, reminder, looking into tomorrow, I don't want to see this broken. Hopefully, ideally, we can see overnight kind of just hesitate around here, and then at open, maybe a push down, and then a buy signal right here for me. It is looking like, where did we close today? So we may see a gap down tomorrow, and I will be looking for a gap fill play, moving higher. But we'll play by ear. So yeah, that was the daily recap for today. Thanks for joining me. I'll be back again tomorrow. And let me make sure I'm not forgetting anything here, because I always forget things and I always look back at the videos after and I always want to add things to it, but I think that's about it. See you guys tomorrow and have a good night.